Ladies and gentlemen, Big Hairy News.
Hey, kia ora whānau. Welcome back to Big Hairy News, aka Bright Hairy News for the Friday show. Hi,
Hell
Magenta.
yeah. Saw, dudes.
How's things?
Yeah, pretty good. Had a pretty decent but busy week. But good busy, so you know,
Good busy is good.
that's what we like. Actually, I'll show you guys a little photo from my week, eh?
Actually, yes, you did have an exciting week.
Yes. Some of you have probably already seen it, but few of us went down to the second reading, and there's all us beautiful people just taking a wee photo together outside Parliament after the bill was slaughtered. But yeah, it was
nice
a good
to
time.
see.
Yeah, no, it was great. Such a shame about the waste, eh?
Yeah, $6 million could have gone to feeding kids, but hey,
that's woke.
It's done now. There's more important things to now think about. Unfortunately, there's more going on, so there'll always be something to fight for. But hey, we did get some good stuff out of it, and it didn't work in Seymour's favor, which I like. I like that. Something we didn't talk about yesterday was the Māori party situation.
Yeah. Oh, right, yes.
Did you witness what it was? So they were barred from being in the gallery, or there was something about them not being able to video?
I believe it was it was, I believe I was reading it earlier today. It was the person who was filming for them. I'll find the article. I was reading it literally just before, so I'll just have a wee nosy for it and maybe we can have a wee look at it.
Yeah, because I saw it, but I didn't cover it yesterday. I forgot to, but because they were still in the house, I'm pretty sure. Was it?
Oh yeah, they were in there. It was their film. Yeah, here we go. I've got the.
What's his face? So bad.
Let's just have a. There's a video too. I don't know if we can have a look if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
While we're on the topic, and then we'll get into our usual antics.
For sure, and Seabed. There we go. Here's my buttons. Yeah, so Te Pāti Māori for Public Gallery by Parliament Security. So yeah, they were. I actually got the notification that there was the live stream came up on like Instagram. So yeah, it was cut short after being supposedly barred from entering the gallery. The live stream only lasted 15 minutes and began with a short kōrero from party co-leaders Debbie Ngāre Wapaka and Rawiri Waititi.
Time has come. We're heading into the house, and today we kill the bill. So ngā mihi nui kia koutou, it is a wonderful day.
And we have worked really hard to make sure that the Speaker is aware of the celebration of today, make sure that our mana whenua had the Māori of this kaupapa.
So it wasn't this part, right?
No, yeah. So this was them kind of coming through, and then I believe it switches to the gallery here.
Okay, and they weren't allowed to film in the gallery.
Yeah, well, because you're not. I mean, generally, you're not allowed to obviously they take your phones when you go on, and there is press who do sit in their own spot in the gallery. So I'm not sure why they were in, because this is actually around where the BHN crew were sitting in this area, because we tend to sit behind the coalition so that we can look at the opposition and see their beautiful faces.
Glare at them and stare them down and remind them who they're talking about, you know? Who they're making
Oh
policies
no!
for?
I mean, like, so we look at like Chloe and Hana. Like,
okay.
yeah, no, because oh god, I would not want to spend that whole time staring at the girl. Oh, that's grim. I would not
There's
do that to
ways of
myself.
two ways of looking at it, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. No, I agree. That would be the much better way to situate yourself for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think that must have been just
Interesting.
before I got there because I was a tiny bit late. I mean, I only missed like David Seymour talking, so like,
it's fine. We've heard enough of him. It's fine. It's not like we
Yeah.
missed out. It's not like it's anything new.
mhm.
Right. So let's now that we've got that little tidbit. Anything else from that day that you really enjoyed?
Oh yeah, well I did make a couple of notes. Actually, funnily enough, you kind of see it in the video when the person's moving through as they're getting taken out of the gallery. There are people with these white t-shirts that have green on them. They were actually a family, I believe, and they had their little kid, their little child that their t-shirts said something about kohanga reo and like kohanga reo generation. I can't exactly remember what it said on it, but it was really cute because that little kid, I mean, they did have to take the kid out for a minute because obviously baby was getting a bit fussy and annoyed, and I could hear baby speaking fully te reo, being like, I'm hungry, I want to go, I'm hungry, this is, but then as after we sung Tu Tita, as we were walking out, the little girl was just like, Toi tu te tiriti, Toi tu te tiriti, and it was just like the most beautiful, heartwarming, just yes,
That's cute.
it was so sweet. And obviously, like, Hana just made me cry, to be honest. I was,
That was quite an emotional one, eh?
oh,
Definitely.
absolutely. And then, like, Kushla, she was really good. And obviously, Tamitha and Marama, they were just like amping it all up. And obviously, the cherry on top was old Willie going, liar, and then leaving. It was just, it was so good. I really wanted to yell and be like, hell yeah, but I didn't want to, nearly get kicked out again. So, but there was a very cute moment. It was, I think it was when they were getting near like the 9th or 10th speech out of 12. I saw Kieran walking around, handing like with a little box of lollies, like offering it to each person. And then I saw the Greens and Te Pāti Māori like sharing lollies.
No,
it was very cute, very wholesome.
Cute, very wholesome indeed. Oh, it sounds like it was a lot. I'm very jealous. I'm sure that was a historic day to be part of in some ways.
Oh hell yeah! Singing Tu Tita in the Parliament Gallery was pretty awesome. Not gonna lie.
No, sounds fun. In some exciting housekeeping news, guys, we have been nominated for a New Zealand Radio and Podcast Award.
Woo!
You just do like a party light.
Yes.
Not the New Zealand Podcast Awards, which we won last year. This is a different one. This is like with the big boys.
Yeah.
So we're no longer just a podcast. We're considered radio and podcast.
Right.
The guy whose name I've forgotten, Jeremy
Corbett? How dare? Yeah. 7 days. Okay. Come on.
I know who he is. I just couldn't remember what his last name was. Just dropping a little BHN moment for you guys. I thought you might appreciate this.
Me. Next is Best Independent Podcasts. Our finalists here are Big Hairy News, Blindfish Media, Nixon and...
That's us!
Hell yeah!
We made it, boys. We made it. So we've been nominated or a finalist in the Best Independent Podcast category of the New Zealand Radio and Podcast Awards. So that's pretty cool. Oh, did you guys not hear it? Oh no, it's just Peter. You got? Did you hear it?
Rip Peter.
Oh, if Peter didn't, I'm sorry, Peter. But
we love you,
I'm
Peter.
Sure
Try again.
Yeah. So, it's just you, Peter. Exciting. exciting stuff.
Yeah.
But that is a testament to all of you guys who join us in the chat, everyone who's a patron who makes it possible for us to do this, all of the super chats you guys give us. It's just little, tidbits here and there. The merch, supporting us with buying merch, all of that stuff has enabled us to sort of grow and become a bit more established and legit, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
But also produce really good content that you guys enjoy. I think Pat said that we, because I asked about who else was nominated or who else is who else is kind of lumped in with the podcast, because independent podcasts, we kind of think of us and YouTubing and things, and then our nemesis is the platform and all of those fun ones. I think he was saying that we had to be our funding had to be a certain amount. So
Yes.
things like the platform, for example, we all kind of know that they're, especially in the right wing space in terms of media, they kind of get funneled a ton of money from some what do you call them? No, is that it?
Yeah, well, Atlas Network, adjacent, all
Atlas
those
Network.
things.
Yeah.
Astro,
All the money funnels
Atlas,
from, it's all the same.
all the
It's
words.
But yeah, because we're independently run and independently funded by the community, it's thanks to you guys that that we're able to make this happen. So I don't know if it's I assume it's a judging thing, not a voting thing like the New Zealand Podcast Awards was.
Yes.
So
I believe there are panelists who are, going through.
So it's like traditional fancy, like the Kiwi Bank New Zealand of the Year type stuff, or the design awards, which are much the same. It's like we have judges to judge us. So,
right.
yeah, isn't that cool? I mean, it's whether we win or not, it's not really the point. It's just it's nice to be recognised, eh?
Well, I mean, just like the fact that, because obviously, I love looking at the stats. Actually, I should have opened it up. Why not? Why not bring it up now? When we think about how only a year ago, like the changes that have happened in terms of the amount of people that are watching and sharing is just absolutely insane. And I mean, the patrons are what really make it us able to do that. And that is so cool that we have people who are basically investors, and hopefully us, getting bigger and being, nominated and things like this is kind of like a return on investment. Exactly.
Yeah, you're
exactly.
our shareholders. Our stakeholders. Shareholders? One of the two.
Stakeholders, yeah.
You guys.
And so this is, if we look here, right? Monthly gained views. December 2023, we've got 133,000 monthly views. We're up now at 403,000 in just over a year. That is amazing growth. And we're, things are going real, it's just doing so well. We've even gone up a grade. We used to be a C-.
Oh, we're a C now, guys.
Right.
C's get degrees. We're getting there.
Hey-o.
No, we're doing some cool stuff, but yeah, it's thanks to you guys, and I'm not sure when I'm sure Pat will have more information on this
June
stuff,
5th, I believe, is when it will be. When I think it's June 5th when the results come out.
Nice. While we're on the housekeeping conversation rant, no, that's not the correct word. Discussion list.
Stuff and things.
The housekeeping, I was going to say rules. You know what I mean, guys. You know what I mean.
I was too busy reading the chat for a second, to be honest.
It's all right. There's you guys know what I mean. It's fine. The rainbow buffer shirts are currently on pre-order. So if anyone wants one of these in a very particular style, in a particular color, in a particular size, you can go onto the website and pre-order it, and Pat will be ordering a shipment on the 18th, and then another one on the 25th. So those are your two deadline dates if you would like to get one of these.
Oh hell yeah! I love the rainbow buffer. So good.
Sky blue or sage green, and I think this is I think I've seen this one. That's a really nice color.
Yeah. Because I think some of the Chewie ones come in that sage, I believe. if I remember correctly. Or they did at one point. They might not now.
They did at one point.
Yeah,
Yes.
they definitely did at one point. But I
You
also
can get
think
a t-shirt or a hoodie.
if you get the light colored ones, just a tip, guys, you can probably tie-dye it or add more rainbows to it. Just saying. Make it gayer.
I
Do
like it. That actually is a very good idea.
Well, originally when
recommend it.
I bought this hoodie, I wanted it in white, but it didn't come in white in this size. So, yeah.
Well, if you
I
want the
did the
exact style or color and size, you can pre-order it by the 18th.
Get
There
it.
you go. Yeah, so that's the only major housekeeping things other than just to say a big thank you to our Patreons because you guys make this all possible. And yeah, hope you enjoy tonight's show, which is going to be a fun one. Well, kind of fun. It's never 100% fun. It's it's like, scatter the fun in there. We try and lift you up, not bring everything down.
We've got extra memes tonight, so it's fine. I've made sure to find some extra good stuff.
Good. Well, should we do a quick little recap of the week as well?
Do it.
We had on a Monday, we had Joe Trinder. Did I miss Monday's? I think I might have missed Monday's show. I think I missed Monday's show.
Oh no, guys. Emily wasn't there. I mean,
oh no, I was there.
Nah.
Sorry, the name didn't ring a bell. I'm an image person, not a
ADHD
not a
moment.
There wasn't a person. Yes, there was. It was Joe Trinder on the Treaty Principles Bill. We had what else was going on Monday? Defence spending has been announced that they're going to put more into defence spending in the wake of the threat of China and the world's global situation, and everyone's getting a little antsy, and it kind of makes sense. But I feel like it's quite delayed, so and also on defence news, I saw that Willie Apiata was Willie Apiata? No. Yes, Willie Apiata?
Yeah.
Am I no.
So.
Willie?
Oh, double
Willie? Someone clarify. He was successful in getting the definition of a veteran changed.
Yes, it was Willie.
Willie, okay. I thought I was just like Willie Jackson, and I was like, am I just saying Willie?
Nah, yeah, there's just too many G's who got a cool name.
I know.
Willie, not Winnie.
Yeah, so veteran status has been expanded, and which is really cool because he's a cool guy and did some amazing things, and good on him.
Yeah,
so that was a nice little update to the news, which was cool.
Yeah.
We also had later in the week we had Timothy Paul on defunding the police and talking about what she really meant and where else the funding should go and all those important things. Quite a good interview, actually. I love how she's just so chill.
Oh, I love Tamitha. She's great.
And then we had a double whammy, I think, the episode as well. We had Craig Reedy on the Trump terrace, which was good. I love me some Craig Reedy. I found out that he wears glasses, so all of the artwork that I've done for his podcast, I now have to slightly alter, but that's okay. He wasn't wearing glasses in the last, 5 years of photographs that he got taken of.
Yeah,
Then we had some Annie O'Brien. We had what's his name? The other guys just being assholes. I guess it's kind of.
Oh, which ones? Narrow it down,
Reese
please.
Williams. There we go.
Reese, there you go. I was like, which asshole? There's a lot of them.
Reese Williams was behind the attacks on Benjamin Doyle on Twitter, and I guess looking at his personal private Instagram account and I don't know, some homophobic bullshit about him being, or insinuating that he was a predator of sorts for some of the things that he was using, and not really understanding, rainbow culture, and so he's an asshat, essentially. That's the best way to put it, I guess. The polls as well. The trend is evening out a little bit. There was a little bit of a spike here and there, but pretty strong on Chippy's side. Nothing's really changed in that regard. And then we had the Treaty Principles Bill. Oh, and Trump tariffs, which dominated this week.
When don't we have fucking Trump tariff news at the moment?
Stocks, everything. And then, the big one was the Treaty Principles Bill. Got voted down in the House, and everyone is happy about it.
Yes. Well, to be honest, I don't even know if I'm really happy. More just like, did we have to waste all this fucking time? And also, it's not even like we're done. This is just step one. We still have the RSB. Like, there's still things that are happening. This is just the beginning of the kaupapa.
Yes, you did see a cat behind me. They'll just be in and out. You can't control them, man. They're free spirits. Yeah, so an interesting week. I don't know. I'm kind of... Everything's all happening all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once. I feel like that movie is like relatable.
It gets overwhelming, eh? Yeah, no, it definitely gets overwhelming.
I have to remember what's going on and who said what and what things been said now and what's the big story of the week and which party is in the news for what reason and what did Seymour say now? It's every fucking week. What did Winston do now? And that's...
Yeah, I'm definitely sick of them. Oh, also Jerry Brownlee keeps being fucking useless.
Police help. Where's the police? I swear you can make memes of just about everything he says.
Oh, it's just infuriating. Why are we paying him this much money to just be a fucking fleshlight for the coalition? Like, it's embarrassing, bro.
Isn't there I thought there was a rule, or maybe that actually doesn't make sense, because when Labour was in power, it was a Labour person as the speaker, because the party in power chooses the speaker. Wouldn't it be better if it was the opposite way around? If it was like the opposition choose the speaker? I
don't know. That sounds kind of woke, though.
Oh, yeah, no.
That would be like working on... Yeah, no.
Way too progressive.
And also, they want to put in the person that they can just use and utilize and get what they want. The amount... Also, one thing I noticed when on the Thursday, because like obviously it's not my first time at Parliament, there was so many cops. So many fucking cops. Yeah, in the gallery where we were all sitting, there was just so many more cops than there normally is. And it's like, oh yeah, of course. When it's got something to do with Maori, of course you're gonna fucking have all these cops in here. Like, typical. But ugh.
Maybe that's why he's like, police.
Oh yeah,
police,
he's also just like he was like getting mad when Marama tried to bring up the fact that like Chris wasn't there, and then obviously Duncan came in with a really good point of order, to which Jerry just went, well, now you're part of the problem too, so basically shut up or I'll kick you both out, which is just disgusting.
Ugh.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, fair enough. The only thing that's good that came out of Jerry Brownlee. That sounds not what comes out. There's a shop here. There's an ice cream and dessert shop here called Rollickin, and they do they do puns and things on their desserts and their ice creams, and they like to pull in politicians. So there was the Jacinda cinnamon roll bun.
Oh yeah.
There's a Jerry Brownlee Jerry Brownie.
Yes,
delicious.
Yes.
It's my absolute favorite thing, which is the only thing that brownie is good for. Brownlee is good for is the brownie. And there was a few other ones as well, but there's a Seymour one as well. But yeah, that's the only good thing that came out of his existence, unfortunately.
I'm sorry,
Actually,
but if anything has the
unfortunately,
name Seymour in it, it ain't going anywhere near my mouth.
I don't even know what it was. You can look it up. It's all they have it all documented online, which they usually get the politicians in to eat the desserts and give their opinion. And then they also get a funny little characterization of them on the wall. There you go.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. Well, before we get into our big story, first story, or our stories of the day, do you want to do memes first or super chats first?
Ooh. How about we go memes first? It's been a big week.
Okay.
I think we
Throw the
deserve
memes.
them.
Throw in the
All
memes.
right. I lost my I lost my shit when I saw this. The way he's holding that knife just become unterrifiable. So good. Also, we have some penguins and seagulls planning to steal Teslas. Love it, love it. Oh, this got me so good. Trump will also place a 10% tariff on Rottnest Island because the quackers could get fucked too. My grandparents immigrating from Europe to avoid poverty and fascism. Me immigrating to Europe to avoid poverty and fascism in America. Oh, I thought this got posted in Discord and it felt very, very appropriate. You've got the Virgin Molotov cocktail. Petrol is expensive. If you fuck up, you set yourself on fire. Police are looking for them. You're giving money to the fucking oil companies, and getting petrol without a car sucks. The Chad jar of piss costs next to nothing, easier to throw. You get the satisfaction of hearing a cop yell, "Oh my god, this is piss!" Why, officer, those jars are for my cold brew business. Something you can say. Can be filled on site. Literally anyone can make piss. And nobody expects you to use a jar of piss as a weapon, which I think that's the most important point to really, really lock in there, guys. So
just a reminder that Molotov cocktails are not typically used in regular life, but at the absolute worst of scenarios, Molotov cocktails may be thrown, and if you can't afford that, then that's when it would be used. Just saying, we're not advocating for throwing things. We're just saying that
but if
when times are tough, and if you get to that point in life, you're throwing Molotov cocktails. There's your second option,
right? Molotov cocktails in this economy.
We want to riot, but we need something more economic than that,
right? And this was great. So this shit is so fucking funny, man. Sitting alone in the dark on his private plane while he gets cyberbullied by Path of Exile players. Oh my god! And then it just says, "You have no real friends and will die alone," repeatedly. And that just is so funny because, to be honest, the Path of Exile chat is usually just the most unhinged shit posting you've ever seen in your life. So for them to actually stop shit posting and doing that, that's impressive. And then we'll go for these for the last one. So, how did we allow MAGA to force this craziness on the rest of us? And it says, "I've said it before and I'll say it again. I never imagined when fascism came it would be this stupid and this weird." And the picture on the right may or may not be relevant too. All families have a black sheep or two. Then we've got Rimmer, Elon Musk, and Nintendo DS.
I like the dunt.
Yeah, the dunt is pretty good. And I mean, they really are. They're just the same man in different fonts. You know what I mean?
Socially awkward, weird. Yeah. Sums it up, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, shall we go through some super chats and then we'll get into our some Winnie news. Lots of Winnie today.
Okay, now I'm less excited, but yep, let's go.
We'll glaze it with some fun. I'm sure it'll be fun. Daniel Maguire for $2 says, "Late fee be by do minor traffic offences."
Ooh, okay. I like that one.
I like how we're kind of getting a bit more, subdued, but I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna find the middle ground between them at some point, and it's gonna be equal, You mean it's like be gay, do crimes, and then it's gone into be bi, mind traffic offences.
Yeah, now I want to know what the pansexual I need all the flags now. I expect to find out all of the law.
I really need to document it. Tiffany Nafiki for $2 says, barred for being brow as always. Fuck the crown? Brow?
What, brown.
A brown.
Yeah.
Brown. Sorry, that took me a second. I
I
was
think they
thinking
got
eyebrows. I think
done dirty by the typing.
Kai Matata for $2 says, Tutira manga iwi. Okay, be Maori do rhymes.
Real.
Peter for $2 says, are they scrutinizing my super chats? I think that was related to the NZ podcast. New radio podcast. Possibly. There's been some interesting super chats.
I hope
for the
that
last
I
little
hope that it doesn't get counted and they're assessing things because yeesh.
They're like, well, we would give them the award, but I don't know if they show the best of humanity, you know? Kai Matata again for $2 says, Jerry McCleary thinks Māori are scary.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, there's a book coming. And I'll get to the rest of them later in the show.
Although there's one quick comment that I've seen here from Twitch. Apparently with my meme, he was also listening to Grimes while getting absolutely annihilated on Path of Exile chat. So I love that even more.
Weird. He's a weird guy.
He is.
Just a weird guy.
All right, let's go to another weird guy, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of weird guys, Winston Peters says, I just met you, but call me next time.
Oh.
For some reason, I saw this headline and I just thought,
yeah.
Call me, baby. But no, essentially, Winston Peters has gone a bit of a rampage and calls Luxon out for ruining his backroom deals with his and his foreign policies. Essentially, no, that's
backdoor
me.
Winston now. Is that what you're telling me? Okay, cool.
My theory.
Winston.
Okay, so my theory, unsubstantiated whatsoever, but my theory is, Winston Peters has done foreign affairs for a long time. This is his baby. He loves the foreign affairs portfolio. He likes going overseas. He likes talking to people, likes talking to his counterparts. And he, I think he likes, he's got his ear and, everybody and fingers in the pies. And, he's trying to keep things even keel and knows what's going on around the world and keeps us in the minds of foreign peeps. Luxon decided to, as Prime Minister, I mean, this is his job, he can do what he wants, decided to call a bunch of leaders around the world and be like, hey, so free trade agreements, what are we going to do? Let's keep the economy going. We need growth, green shoots, all this other bullshit. We need your money. We need you to invest. Don't worry about the tariffs. Everything is fine. Come and invest in New Zealand. And then Peters was like, the fuck you doing? That's my job. Get your greedy hands off it. So yeah, I found this quite entertaining, actually. I love it when as much as I don't like Winston Peters and I really don't like Seymour, I do like it when they stab Luxon in the back a little bit and they and they undermine him and like, what the fuck are you doing? So good. But to give the rundown, Winston Peters chastised the Prime Minister for his spree of phone calls with world leaders about US trade war and advised politicians to tone it down. So speaking from Tonga on Friday, Peters offered some advice to the Prime Minister. Markets lose their nerve. Share market speculators lose their nerve. Politicians should not lose their nerve, and that's my advice, he told RNZ. There's no need to react at this point in time. Let's first find out what we're dealing with. Let the dust settle in. My advocacy from the day this matter came up with the Trump tariffs. Our job is to be ultra careful, ultra forward thinking in the interest of, guess what? The New Zealand economy. That's what matters, not our egos, he said. So my advice to politicians is tone down, wait till you see and know what's going on. There's some old words in there. I mean, even our job is to be ultra careful, ultra forward thinking in the interest of, guess what? The New Zealand economy. That's what matters, not our egos. That says a lot to me. He did
Sassy.
not hold back
She's
on that one.
spicy.
And then I was listening to this today on RNZ. Todd McClay
Yeah.
was on the phone talking to Lisa on Checkpoint. I love National. National just brings, you know how like you listen to watch things when you're a kid and there's just like certain voices and people and like radio stations that when you listen to them, you kind of get like taken back 20 years or 10 years.
Oh, for sure.
That's what national radio is for me. It just takes me back to a different place. The voices. I think there's something about the microphones that they use and the cadence. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, to be fair, when we were teenagers, there was a national government. So
no, I mean national news. The national radio
oh,
station.
sorry, right, yes. Too many nationals.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, Todd McClay was on there, and he was like, "No, I think we're all talking about the same thing. We're all on the same page, essentially." But yeah, so Winston's not happy with the Prime Minister. Premature, he calls it. Luxon disputed the characterization of what he was being asked and moved on. Asked whether or not his calls to leaders was premature. He said, "I gave a pretty broad-ranging speech yesterday on trade, which was appropriate given the week we've been experiencing." Luxon said he was doing 3 things over the course of yesterday. Firstly was to reach out to key bilateral partners for New Zealand to say what more could we be doing together in a world where we have a like-minded approach to trade. Secondly, he said, was to understand how they've been interpreting the events of the last week and what that means for them and their economies. Thirdly, making the case that we should be reaffirming the principles of free trade together, whether that was in a Asian bloc or a CPTPP bloc.
Gotta love good acronym.
Asian. That's quite smart, that one. Yeah. Fun times in Winstonland.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely noticed. I mean, that's the thing is, like, there's some comments I've seen already of, basically just pointing out that, again, he's getting run circles around by his deputy prime ministers, and it's just making him look even weaker. And honestly, the man's already jellyfish. How much weaker can you get? Like, also, unfortunately, as other people have also pointed out, like you said, Winston's been doing this a long time. He actually knows what he's doing in terms of this portfolio, Also, it's great to see that he's moved on to his next victim, Leave some other people alone, that'd be great. But just, yeah, it's embarrassing to constantly just see Luxon getting just, like, it just feels like they're doing doughies, you know what I mean? Just in their cars, full diesel or some shit, I don't know, whatever's the most polluting to the air, cigarettes, bottle of beer while they're doing doughies around them. That's what it feels like.
Yes, he's a true dinosaur, our Winnie, but small praise for the guy. Foreign affairs really is his thing, and when he's on the world stage representing New Zealand, typically, apart from this recent stuff with Trump and like trying to appease him, which kind of typically he's pretty good at representing the broader sentiment of what New Zealand is about. When he's back home, he loses his fucking mind. And he's just trying to get votes because, let's be honest, those people he's getting votes from do not pay attention to global politics. So he doesn't need to cater to them when he's not in the country. Yeah.
He likes being able to control what immigrants can and can't come here. But I think there's actually a really good point that someone else pointed out here, and I kind of thought the same thing too, is that I'm doing business stuff, so I couldn't face the consequence of my actions and wear the shame with being really wrong with the treaty principle bill, because that's the other part of it too. It's like, don't try to distract us from the fact that you weren't there yesterday. And you should have been, and people should have been allowed to call you out for that.
Sorry. He was on the phone. He was on the phone. He was doing important phone calls.
All right. That's That's great. And Helen Clark was with Shrek the Sheep when, Foreshore and Seabed happened.
Rinky dink or not.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he did have that announcement earlier today where he got a bunch of brown people to speak very nicely around him, and he also named a bunch of brown people that he knows and works with. So, Talofa.
I fucking love that, man. Well, the second part, so we're going to go on a roller coaster. We're going to go, Winston is shitting on Luxon, good on him. And, he's kind of good at foreign affairs. 2, Winston getting pissed off that the word tikanga was used in the title of one of his jobs in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
I did see this.
A job in for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade that enraged Winston Peters has been relisted with a tweaked title, removing the word tikanga. The foreign minister is comfortable with the new role after the word protocol was used instead. On Thursday, the ministry posted a new ad on Seek for a lead advisor, Māori Protocol, Customs and Cultural Diplomacy. Tikanga?
Okay. That's a fucking mouthful.
Shorted, probably could have shortened that by quite a few words. Last month, the ministry advised an almost identical role for a tikanga lead with a salary of up to $170,000, which Peters asked to be pulled down. The advertisement said the successful applicant would lead the provision of tikanga advice for the ministry and also advise staff offshore. At the time, Peters was asked what he made of the job after his strong criticism of such hires in the past, coupled with New Zealand First attempting to introduce legislation that would remove diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI regulations from the public service. He responded by saying that sort of job title was a case of bad idea getting dug in deeper than ticks on a hound. And he made it clear the ministry would be told to fix it. Peters questioned what the purpose of the role would even be and told reporters there will not be an appointment. But obviously there is now. On Friday, however, a spokesperson for Peters told RNZ he was comfortable with the new job title and obviously now comfortable with the job existing entirely. The new ad says the lead advisor will ensure Māori cultural protocols are understood, upheld, and applied appropriately, support foreign policy priorities overseas, advising and implementation of Māori cultural protocol and practices, provide expert advice on appropriate use of Māori cultural protocols, and practice in our work. Tikanga.
I'm confused, right? If you need someone that you're going to pay $170,000 a year, so let's not careful, they might go, there's the privileged Māori, but you're telling me that in an ad for this job, they're not going to use the word tikanga? If anything, you'd probably want to use that word so that if someone doesn't really know what it means, they don't apply for the fucking job. You see adverts for, say, Māori radio presenters. Those adverts are completely into Te Reo Māori to make sure that the people applying actually can understand and do that. It's just dumb. And it's him with his weird assimilation, fucking internalized racism. And Koro needs to go have a nap.
The shitty thing is if this is a ploy to appease his shitty anti-immigrant, anti-Māori voter base, his cooked voters basically. If he hadn't pulled the ad, I don't think they would have ever known about it, and no one would have batted an eye. No one would have been like, "Oh, Winston, your Ministry of Foreign Affairs has a job going at the moment that has the word tikanga in it. Doesn't that kind of go against your whole anti?"
I'm not sure that they might have actually done that. I feel like I do remember something about that potentially, though. I'm not.
What, that someone found it and then he decided to throw
I feel like
it?
I've heard about this story while back. I'll have to have a look though. I'm not.
Well, he did pull it. He pulled it a while ago because it had the word tikanga in it. But I feel like I don't think anyone would have seen it, but maybe that's just all part of the DEI.
Who knows? Yeah, I might have. I can't fully remember, but yeah,
not in my ministry.
It's just typical Winston doing his typical Winston thing. He's trying to keep
Yeah.
that spotlight for as long as he can before he loses the fucking passenger seat to old DS.
And speaking of his holding on for dear life,
Oh yeah, also the chat has confirmed.
Oh,
it was on the show. That's why I've
okay.
seen it.
Oh, that's fine.
I thought so.
There
Yeah.
you go. Okay.
There was echo in my head of like, I feel like I've heard this. Yes.
Well, there you go.
Oh.
The dinosaur keeps on living. Winston Peters turns 80.
Yeah, I did actually hear about this.
Populist. 50 years of political comebacks. 50. 50 years.
At least 20 years, like 30 years too long, but you know, whatever.
50 years.
Oh, look at
Here
my
he
Lanta.
is. That's him as a young MP, guys.
Yeah, I was
just so you know. They hits him as a young MP.
Man.
As well as a milestone birthday. 2025 will mark 50 years of Peters' first election campaign in 1975.
My mum was 4 years old. That's crazy.
Look at him around the table. Jim Bolger, centre
man.
left, and Winston Peters, at the head of the first MMP coalition government in 1997. That's right, it was one of the first. Was the first.
He's like the only brown one in there.
I think you are 100% correct.
Of course I am.
Oh, no, hang on. There's this ambiguous guy over here. He might be.
Oh, he's probably just spicy white. Let's be real.
There's legit 2 women, though.
Oh, wow. 2 whole women.
There's 2 whole... In fact, one of them, I want to say, looks like a secretary.
2 women and a Māori, man. Whew.
Ooh. Calm down, guys. Calm down.
Pop off.
Yes, he's... There's a lot to read in this if you're interested in the history of this fucking photo. The history of Winston Peters. But he is a dinosaur that will not go. And let's just bloody hope that he decides to just depart and go and live his very wealthy retirement.
Yeah, you know what, Winston? Go utilize that gold card, brother. Just go have a good time with your bloody gold card. She'll be right. But also, I do like the sentiment more that MLB Kiwi has put up of just happy birthday to everybody else that is having a birthday, but not him. I also know it's Dr. Green's birthday, so happy birthday to Dr. Green, the man, the ledge.
Happy birthday.
Way more important birthday, in my opinion.
True. But the dude is 80. It's fucking hell. The dude is 80.
Right?
He's
surely
as old as Trump. Trump is older. No, he's 70. No, Trump's in his 70s, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh god, they're old enough.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like
old people shouldn't be barred.
78. Yeah, 78. He's 2 years off.
Jesus Christ.
I knew he must have been close. Oh, yeesh.
Yeah. So that was our winning news of the day. Triple whammy.
Triple Winnie.
triple Winnie. Literally, triple Winnie.
That is not what I want on my Friday night. Thank you very much.
Done.
No more. Be gone.
All right, we're going to need some to... actually, no, there's some super chats. Oh my god, guys, stop super chatting. I've got to get through them all. I'll do super chats and then you can go through your memes. Danger of mouse, $2. Called the police.
Whoop, whoop.
Called the police. Tipini Nafaki for $2 says only thing worse than a neocon is a moderate. XLD for $5. M Molotov cocktails are typically alcohol vodka. Just ask Ukrainian grandmothers start of the conflict. That was so fucking good. I forgot about that. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's honestly the situation that you use Molotov cocktails. But if you don't have the vodka lying around, that's when you gotta use the
again, I feel like the price of vodka in New Zealand. Oof, nah, man. Even the cheap stuff's getting expensive.
Raijin Fajula says B-Pan have an altercation with the policeman. Oh, it even rhymes.
Hey,
like it.
all right.
I like it. Tiffany, dude, how much money do you spend a week? I appreciate it. My goodness. Thank you. $2. Be queer, dye your hair. Oh, fuck, that's...
I mean, that is so real, though. Actually,
True.
guys,
I mean,
fun fact.
I don't
I
quite
had
fit in
to
that
ask
category, but-
Ems. Yeah, fun fact, guys. I literally, when we met, I had to be like, "Hey, Ems, you have pink hair. Like, are you?" And she's like, "Oh, no, I'm not." I was like, "Oh, sorry, I profiled you."
It's all right. I hang out with enough people. It's probably worn off on me. But I know what you mean. That is definitely a stereotype that exists and
Yep.
proven many a times. Kiri Burfitula says, I enjoy Schadenfreude, Schadenfreude
Yeah.
at the coalition's expense. Schadenfreude. We had a conversation about that, didn't we? Kiri Burf,
Probably
I
at
need you to
some
explain.
point.
I'm ignorant. Vader for $2 says premature negotiation from being overexcited. That was regards to Luxon calling all his mates. For sure. Oh my goodness. I'll go two more. Mr. Arvids for $2 says B pale stale mail get animated.
Ayo.
I feel like
Remember animated? You know the animated that's the reference to getting animated with the staffer.
Oh
yeah. See, me and Mr. Arvids. I see you, Mr. Arvids. I see you.
Okay. The danger of mouse for $2 says dinos made us oil.
That is true. That is true.
And then lastly, just goes B-Trains make some plans.
And then hopefully don't cancel on them last minute either.
Champagne and fire. Oh, there is. Sorry, XLD says people I stay with guy. Come on, guys.
I saw that one.
Come on.
I saw that one.
Come on.
I love it.
All right, that's all for now. Magenta, give us some super chats.
Oh, memes. So this could be applied to America or honestly here as well and a lot of other places. This is really unfair to everyone who just voted for the racism, you know, and all those people who just wanted their dog whistles. This one, I felt this one. It's 2002. I'm 18 years old. We are in a once-in-a-generation economic crisis. It is 2008. I am 24 years old. We are in a once-in-a-generation economic crisis. It's 2020. I'm 36 years old. And we're in a once-in-a-generation economic crisis. It's 2025. I'm 41 years old and we are... Although my age, you got to take off like 10 years. But I feel this.
Yeah.
I was going to tell a joke about trickle-down economics, but 99% of you wouldn't get it. Hey. But and this one I believe came from I put their little name on there, but they are a Facebook page that posted this meme. And then someone in the Discord chat decided to add some beautiful tomato sauce to it. Because, you know, you got to have sauce on the pie. So I thought that was a nice little contribution. This one, NZ First need a rebrand. If you're giving 97.9% of the profits from mining minerals to overseas companies and shareholders and polluting New Zealand, you are putting New Zealand last. And that's not a meme, that's just a fact. This one, though. Have you seen this one? Jordan Webb. Oh, met him yesterday, actually.
Did you?
Yeah. Paula bullied me and made me go say hi to him, and it was really embarrassing. And sorry, I was weird, Jordan. My bad. But yeah, Trump tariffs map label New Zealand as Madagascar. The world is run by idiots. Yeah. 40. That's yeah. Apparently we're Madagascar now. Apparently
Fuck's
we
sake.
yeah. Okay.
People
And
are
then
dumb.
we'll save those for the next one. There's a lot in there though.
Nice. Nice. Well, I was going to talk about Nintendo DS, but honestly, I kind of don't want to. The guy's just the TLDR. He's just an asshat.
Yeah.
Just an absolute. Just to see you next Tuesday. He basically called doctors and muppets and told them to shut their mouths and do their job.
Okay.
That's all you need to know. Really, let's be honest.
I mean, to
if
be
you want to go
fair-
read it, there's a story on the press that
Yeah.
gives some extra context to it. But for the interest of time, what did you expect to see?
He's not worth the waste of oxygen, to be quite frank. And actually, you know, one thing that I kind of realized when I was in Parliament on Thursday is that it's so much that I don't care what you think as long as it's about me. Because even when people were doing their speeches, at one point, I think it was when Kushler was doing her speech, I heard him yell, "Oh, what about the bill? Speak about the bill." Because that's all you could tell he was getting irritated. So with Hana, not centering the corridor around him and his bill, it's so obvious that it was irking him. He just wants to be, because that's the thing, is he just wants us to keep talking about him, keep him relevant, keep him kind of, oh, look at me doing all this stuff, when really, I think it's one of those things of the more we start to ignore him, but obviously letting people know what's going on. We can talk about what happens without necessarily having to, I guess, amplify it and make it more about him, I think is kind of the thing that I'm really starting to feel like is probably something we should start thinking about doing, because it's just...
Especially as we close into the election, eh?
Yeah, exactly. We want to be amplifying the because that's the thing is so from a psychological perspective, repetition creates familiarity, and from a psychological perspective, we view things we are familiar with more positive feelings. So that's why, during even the election that we had last time, the number of billboards that were national versus all the other ones, by doing that, you're just creating these little pockets of noticing, and then, that does have psychological effects on people. They've proven it through research time and time again in psychology. So, I think that's where, amplifying new names, better voices, voices that are more broad is kind of maybe what we should start trying to do to counteract some of this, I think.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. I think people who the big guns that clearly watch a really awesome show and nominated us for an award should be listening to that and maybe stop platforming him, because it'll piss him off. Just a thought. I think you made a good point there. I think it's the Trump effect as well. The reason that Trump did so well is because we thought it was funny. Well, the media thought it was funny. They didn't think he was going to win, and they platformed him because he just said the most absurd shit. And it got him elected. So it's probably a good point that the more that we talk about it, the more we platform him, even if he's doing crazy shit like calling doctors muppets and whining healthcare workers. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah. It's like is it Beetlejuice, right? Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Speak his name and he'll appear.
Yeah, and I mean, there's actually probably, we can talk about it a bit later, but there's actually a bit of a corridor I got on with someone on Blue Sky also about the meme aspect of it, but we'll save that for later, I think.
Nice. One thing I did want to talk about this week, which it's not major news, but I feel like it was a good watch. Iru Kapakingi was on Q&A with Jack Tam, which I thought was kind of cool. Talking about the hikoi and his role in the hikoi, and then also kind of the future of Māori governance and what they want to see, what the future could look like. I personally like the ideas that they're discussing. I have a kind of an insight about what they're discussing, and I understand where the sort of Maori position is and where the future Maori generation and their vision of the country and their rights and their future as a people, I guess, more so than anything. I understand that, I don't know if this interview was great for his cause, though, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And
I actually
wanna-
haven't seen this yet. I've
You
been
have?
meaning to.
We haven't.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
So
I'll just pull out mostly this part because I think this is kind of the crux of the interview where he's talking about those big, I guess those more academic framework kind of ideas with from Margaret Motu and Moana Jackson. They don't really go into big detail about what those are because they are such high level. But essentially, the conversation that I'll show you is about that, the lack of tangible or concrete vision or ideas of what things could look like in the system or framework that they want to start implementing. But yeah, I'll have a quicker listen and then you can let me know what you think when I press the button.
Utility is simply as a platform to bring those minds together and to provide some clarity around what you've just asked.
So you, I think, have often referenced the Mātiki Mai report, which was put forward or led by Margaret Motu and Moana Jackson.
Yes.
And that had 6 different concepts, 6 different kind of constitutional spheres or frameworks for what an Aotearoa hou might look like. Did you personally think that one of those constitutional frameworks looked best?
I think that they all have their benefits. Some of them have their drawbacks as well. The frameworks themselves, I think, are less important than the principles that are discussed in that report. And via Margaret Motu herself, has also said to me on a number of occasions that the frameworks are there really as a starting point, but what matters is those principles and then really how we operationalize those principles using those frameworks and whatever frameworks work best, particularly in this ever-changing world that we're in.
So just...
That just gives a brief background as to what he's about to go into next.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you have knowledge about that you want to expand on there?
I mean, to be fair, I mean, I've spoken about Mātiki Mai briefly in points because obviously I learned about it through my studies. But I mean, it was a great, because actually it's what I referenced when I was challenging Duncan last week. Is that, we have He Puapua and the Mātiki Mai report, which are basically, especially with the Mātiki Mai one, it was actually, I should find it because it was an amazing piece of work that was done by so many people. So they consulted with people literally across the motu, and it wasn't just, adults. They had a rangatahi, groups where they would have young people kind of talk to them, and it was very much led with mātauranga Māori, which is kind of like different, basically, I guess, values and principles, allowing people to kind of lead the conversation rather than how a lot of the time, especially, even just interviews are a great example. There's always very pointed, specific questions because they know how they want to control the interview or whatever. Whereas in Mātauranga Māori, it's generally centered around the people. So they get to decide what's important. They get to decide, what they think should be considered and all of that kind of thing. Because while you can still maybe end up with some of those other points, it's about making sure that you're actually capturing what people actually want and need. So for me, it's just one of the, it's so rich in knowledge. It's also something that you don't see a lot because in a lot of, I guess, more Western types of reports, it's very clinical and lacking in humanity and soul almost a lot of the time. And that's where, Mātiki Mai was an awesome project. I highly recommend if people want to, I know the documents are online. I have it somewhere saved on my computer in amongst all my university mess, so I have no idea where it is right now. But and He Puapua was another report off the back of that. But there was, Carwyn Jones worked on it. So many amazing names, and it's basically putting down the whole fact of what I was saying to Duncan last time is that the conversations we really need to be having is, hey, do we realize that we set our country up in a way that actually was completely wrong to begin with? And now we have to find some way to rectify that while also acknowledging that it's a really complicated thing to try to actually make. And that's what those models he was talking about, is that they had there's images. They're great. They basically put it into context of how different spheres of government and all of those things could work together, and rough frameworks and ways that they might be able to approach that. And I mean, had they kept taking it further, then, they would have been able to kind of start working more on refining, between what, say Crown and Māori think would be the better options. But we're not going to get it with these guys.
We'll get back into what Jack asks next. I think you did a really good job of sort of preambling what he's about to say, and just get some.
Oh, I did a Chewie. Hey,
you did a Chewie. You did a very good job. You did a Chewie, which is great.
Let's go.
Yeah. So he's basically asking the question of how do you conceptualize these big, how do you communicate these big ideas that perhaps the non-academics in the room, or the Māori hating people, are just not going to get,
In this ever-changing world that we're in.
So just to lay it out for people, there was, I think, 3 of those 6 constitutional spheres had some form of kind of a 3-way system. So you had a rangatiratanga sphere, a kāwanatanga sphere, so a sovereignty sphere, a kāwanatanga sphere, so like a government sphere, and a relational sphere, which would define the relationship between those two things. Do you support something like that?
I think that's the greatest, what we would call in Te Ao Māori, te iho nui or te kauhanga nui, which is the middle ground. That's that middle part of the whare where I suppose the greatest potential lies and where the greatest benefit lies as well.
So you've supported Tinaka o Te Iwi Māori, which is a Māori Party policy calling for a separate Māori parliament. How would that work?
I think how that would work, we won't really know until we try it, right? And the thing about Tinaka o Te Iwi Māori, ideas around Māori banks and different, I guess, manifestations of sovereignty and the truth that we never ceded sovereignty, many people are quick to shoot them down and will think, oh, that's impossible, there's no way that can work. But the point is to have the conversation.
And I guess that follows in really well from what you were discussing with Duncan last Friday, was the I guess what he was saying was this idea of a Māori parliament just doesn't sit in the real world. It doesn't make sense in the current framework that we're in. But I think he missed the point of we need to consider it as an idea, like, as an expanding of the Waitangi Tribunal. I think he perhaps he didn't really. I agree the way he communicated probably was quite dismissive, and I agree with why you challenged him on it. But I think those conversations do need to happen. And that's what he's saying here is, like, we don't know what a Māori parliament could look like. We're not saying that we're just going to cut half the, country in half and Māori are going to go and do their own thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what he's saying. They're realists in that way, but the conversations also need to be had about, like, how does the future look, We got the Waitangi Tribunal. We're partway there.
I think, though, that, I think one of the things that I just kind of was thinking about when you said Māori Parliament is that people probably hear the word Māori Parliament and think separate. No, the point was always to have the representatives from the landowners, i.e. Māori, and then the representatives from the Crown. They were to have their own sovereignties, their own way, they're basically able to dictate and rule over themselves while still having a relationship that it's just a relationship between two groups. And yeah, they can get messy at times. And I mean, because we didn't do it properly to begin with, it is going to be so much harder to do backwards. And yeah, a Māori parliament wouldn't work under a Westminster framework because it shouldn't have to. We need to discuss the kind of the bones and the foundations, not these extra things on top, because that's the problem is people are trying to tack, even when it comes to the Waitangi Tribunal, the way that they handle things is basically trying to take the Westminster system and either add on or manipulate here, when really, no, it's actually the whole system needs to be changed in order to actually accommodate and function properly and be just fit for purpose, I think, really.
Yeah, we'll continue to hear his answer here.
Down and we'll think, oh, that's impossible. There's no way that can work. But the point is to have the conversation and to socialize at least the idea and therefore grow the belief and the possibility of that being a thing. Because, as I said before, we're working against a backdrop of 200 years of oppression, and our ability to believe and to see a future different to the reality we're living right now has been severely restricted. And so that's what all of these efforts of liberation are geared towards, is building the belief from the inside.
Do you think, though, that people maybe...
Beautifully said. The next question is, I guess, getting into the nitty gritty, and he does get challenged quite a bit here. I think this is where, like any time that you're on with Jack Tame, he will grill, and I think he tends to come off better and in kind of having that counterpoint of view, unless you're really, really good at it. I think this is unfortunate because Eru here he's not a politician. He's an advocate, I think, is the big thing.
Yeah.
In a lot of
He's
ways.
a real person. Like, Edu's not some person that sits there and comes up with these fancy things. He's just a real person who's just literally saying what he believes in. Like, he's just a normal fucking human.
Yeah, like, just like you or I, if we were in that seat, I would hope that Jack would be a little bit nicer because we're not politicians making policy. But he does get grilled here, and I think this is where he gets a little bit walked over, and it annoys me because I don't think that was the purpose of this, to grill him. But it's really about those specifics and wanting clear answers, which is not the point. It's the discussion, it's the bigger ideas that he really is trying to communicate, that we need to start the conversation. I'm not proposing anything concrete.
Is building the belief from the inside.
Do you think, though, that people maybe shoot it down because there's no meat on the bone with a lot of these concepts? They're really broad, grand concepts, a different constitutional sphere. But actually people say, what does that mean in practical terms? And at the moment, they're struggling to understand the answer.
I think that's secondary. I think primarily it's a fear response. It's a fear of the unknown. It's a fear of the different. And probably the lack of detail might add to that kind of irritation and fear response.
Can you give us some detail?
I cannot. But luckily...
how can you advocate for it if you can't actually picture what it'll mean in real terms?
Because I believe it's possible. I know it's possible. And I know it's real because that's the world that my ancestors lived in not even 200 years ago. Right? So I know it's a real thing. I know it's happened before. Like, it's not a new idea. It's really reverting back to the reality of the world that my tupuna lived in. So I know that it's real. How it's real, we can figure out. But the point is to get on the waka, launch it on the moana, and start our journey. And when we're on the moana, that's when we'll learn actually the most.
So you support Tina?
So my white side heard, what does it look like in practical terms? We're sailing on vibes. We'll sort of see what happens. That's what I'm hearing from the person who's going to go, what is he saying? The other thing I heard was going back to the way things were. That's going to piss off some people, even though it's not what he's saying. Yeah, but he is right about the fear response, right? He did a really good job of saying the fear part first and calling people out for being scared of it. But then he also kind of said the things that they fear the most, of like, you want to take us back, you want to control us and change the way we do things here. It's that stuff that freaks people out, I think, and especially from someone who looks the way that Edu does, Yeah. The racists in our country are all going to go, oh my God, the Māori are taking over. They want to do parliament.
But that's the thing is, that's what's so funny, right? The reason they think like that is because they think that Māori will do to Pākehā what Pākehā did to Māori. And end of the day, we ain't yous. If anything, all our people were doing were actually looking after people who ended up here, because a lot of them, they didn't come here with purpose like our tupuna did. They just fucking ended up here by accident, or because they were trying to find the edge of the fucking world. Our people welcomed them in, gave them, resources and spaces to exist, because all good, hospitality and taking care of people and manaaki is like a huge part of that. So like, I think the fact that people think they're like, there's actually a comment here that I starred that I think is kind of relevant as well. And it says, I do worry about talking about getting rid of the Westminster system entirely. And I just want to challenge this line where you say, getting rid of it could potentially be dangerous. Not every country in the world runs on a Westminster system. So why would it be dangerous? And in that, I want you to maybe think about the fact that there is actually some basically Westminster supremacy within that thought. And that's not me saying that you are a supremacist, but me simply pointing out that these biases such as that we hold can often be rooted from these places because we get told white is right. Like Westminster is safe. It's what we know. It's good. It's such a good system. We went across the world and forced it upon a bunch of people. But it's not necessarily the best system. And while I do understand it is scary to think about, I don't think we even necessarily need to get rid of everything. We just need to have it be something that is fit for purpose and can work for people. But yeah, it's a complicated conversation. And I think Jack does have a very good point, as it is hard for people to understand and grasp such a broad, vague concept. But it's also hard to grasp and think about, like, do people even realize that if we were set up properly, our country would look completely different now? Māori culture would have actually had a chance to continue to evolve rather than almost be killed and wiped out and then have to be reclaimed back. Like, there are so many things that we don't even include in these conversations, such as that, There are generations of my family who couldn't speak their language or couldn't live on their land still to this fucking day. And yeah, I understand the fear, but also we need to understand that it's a complicated conversation. And also, no one said you're racist. I don't know if that was for me, but no one said you're racist. We all have biases.
No, God, no.
And I actually implore you to go look up implicit bias tests. Harvard University have them. They're amazing. You can actually go in and do them for a bunch of demographics and actually it's really good to reflect and know where those biases sit so that you can begin to unpack them and dismantle them. Just highly recommend.
No, what I was saying there, I'm not calling him. Magenta knows exactly what I was saying.
Yeah,
that from the background that I have from my I'm a white girl, I'm as white as they fucking get. I can trace my lineage back to, I think, Holland or something. I'm as white as they get. So I understand the context of the people that are going to listen to that and freak out. And that's what I heard when I was sitting on the couch, is like, from the part of me that understands what he's saying, this is fascinating and I want to see where this goes. But I'm also highly educated, so I understand where he's coming from, the whole idea of frameworks and academics.
Yeah.
And I also get the very white side of me that comes from Southland that's hearing that and going, oh, fuck, these fucking Māoris Maoris want to take over our land, and they want to take my farm from me. And like that, there are people like that, and you got to try and bring them along. And I worry that this didn't do it.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a very,
I think that's
very
the thing.
fair
You just
point.
got to keep having those challenging conversations, and we've got to try and meet, But and
I mean, the thing is, though, you bring up a really good point, and that is something that I think even as a leftist community, we have to figure out, how can we appeal to those people to break that cognitive dissonance? Because a lot of the time it could be broken by having something personal close to them. There are ways that, and I don't think I'm the person, or necessarily BHN, or the people to try to translate for them. Probably some Labour supporters are probably who should be the ones to translate for that demographic and audience. But I definitely think that there is a conversation to be had in that, of how can we kind of educate and help people understand what it means, and not just go, ugh, Mary's about to steal the radio waves.
Yeah, and that is always the position that I come from when I'm trying to figure out, how do you communicate some of those amazing things that come out of Māori culture, that are rooted in it, that are very people-centric. They're very much power to the people, like you were saying, like it's not decision from the top, it's decision of the group to move forward. And it's decision of many group that I think it's like the mini hapu that inform. They will send someone based on their decision as a group, send it to the iwi to then have the sort of chief discussion, I guess, to make the final decision, right?
To kind of put that into perspective from a historical standpoint, when the kingitanga was being basically established, most people didn't want to be the king, because whenever they would go to them, they'd basically be like, it's not my right to speak on behalf of all hapu and iwi, because I can speak to and I can lead my rōpū, my hapu, my iwi, because the thing about being a rangatira as a leader is it's not about just commanding and telling people what to do. It's about being able to weave and navigate those relationships and the needs of the people. And if you can't do that, then you don't deserve to be a leader. And I think a lot of the values, they would be so helpful to everyone, whether they're Māori values or not. They're just human values that are more human-centric. So, yeah.
No, it's always, I think it's a growing discussion, and I think the next generation is definitely a lot more open-minded to this stuff. That's why we need to get Winnie out so that he can let the next generation in. I was thinking about the faces that can help kind of bring the other side in. I think Kieran's a great example of that, of someone who really champions Māori involvement, their place in governance, and his infrastructure project he was talking about, how they had all that consultation and they made it work, and now they've got a project that's going along and it actually was successful. Like, it didn't take them, maybe it took them 7 years instead of 3, but everyone was happy at the end of the day, and actually they got something that was better because they did that consultation process. He has the face of a farmer, someone that they kind of look at and go, oh yeah, he's a good bloke. He sounds like a good bloke, but he's able to
actually relatable.
Yeah, but he's able to actually communicate the things that Māori are advocating for.
Yeah, and I mean, we do need those buffers, because like Margaret Matu said, we do need buffers to help be the people to kind of talk to the people who won't listen to, those that they don't want to listen to. So,
well, Edu, for example, who see Edu and go, freak out.
Yeah.
There's some really good people in the chat having some great discussion as well, and I think the idea of challenging your biases is really important too, and just
Oh, absolutely. We've all got to work on it, because we all just learn them fucking subconsciously through a bunch of bullshit, and it sucks. And we just have to try to undo it to be better people every day, really.
Yeah. So some cool stuff that came out of that conversation. I mean, if you understand what he was saying, there's some really interesting, cool stuff out of that. And what were you saying? The Mai Tiki Mai?
Tiki Mai? Yeah, Mātiki Mai report. If you look up literally Mātiki, MATIKEMAI.Māori.NZ, and they have a reports page where you can download all the relevant reports to the kaupapa. So if you want the information, it's there for you. And maybe we should also look at talking to some people soon who could
not Mātiki Mai.
Yeah, Mātiki Mai.
Mātiki Mai.
Yeah.
Tike Mai.
But I reckon we should probably also, because I was thinking we should probably talk to some people about the RMA changes. So maybe I'll get in contact with my lecturer and we'll get her to maybe see if she can help us kind of thing. And also, Rogers, everyone's aggro because we're talking about Māori shit and getting rid of the Westminster system.
We're calling out people's racist bias.
Blowing it up, bruh. I blew it up. So memes? Do we want memes now?
Yeah, go on. Throw in the memes.
Let's get some memes, eh? So this is all the community memes. You got Kaimatara, how Christopher Luxon feels every time he lets a poor person starve. Spicy. This wasn't a meme, but this was a conversation comparison. And oh my God. He's even got the same, so
he fits
perfect.
So perfectly into that, that sphere of time and place,
Right?
doesn't he?
He does.
Oh.
It's just chef's kiss. We have another one from Kaimatara on the left-hand side over here. Take over health from Shaireti. Ruin the health system even worse. Be in contravention of Section 13 of Health in New Zealand law. Blame Labour. And because I was running out of space for everything, Kiwi Burb gave us another beautiful drawing. And when I was in Parliament on Thursday, I saw this face so fucking much. Like, watching Chloe's face is basically just it's so much more interesting than looking at any of the gross people who are usually talking. This was a good one from Kai Matara as well. You won't support the treaty principle bill? Some friends you are. You were just means to an end to me. Bro, I wanted to knock you out.
Which one, Luxon or
I
Seymour?
mean, nah, Seymour.
He hates the fucking guy.
Yeah. Just like this one too. I bet he's thinking about other prime ministers. Am I New Zealand's Elon Musk? I'm trying to take over the country and no one likes me. I mean, accurate. How do you do, fellow leftists? Another spicy one at Chippy.
Oh, Chippy, it's too good. It's too accurate, dude. It's too accurate.
It doesn't look good, brother.
No.
I think I was supposed to put Aiden's name on this, and I have not. Apologies, Aiden. Aiden went and made us a bunch of different New Zealand First buses. We got Bussy Explorer, Board Our Bussy, and Bussy on Board. And I love all of them. I think you guys will like this one. David Seymour trying to avoid accountability. Here's me.
Too good. Too good.
Why are Winstonus, Petrius, and Ania O'Briania so mad? Because they can't handle Debussy. And your secrets are safe with me, with Tim Jago, convicted sexual predator and pedophile, and David Seymour, who covered it up for him. Then we have Annual Minister of Word Salad Lunch. Join us for a luncheon with the Minister of Word Salad, the Honourable Nicola Whitlis. Brought to you by Mayonnaise. Hey David, want to hear a joke about the Treaty Principles referendum? Never mind. You won't get it. You won't get it, David. Sir, Mahinirangi has hit you with a second question.
His arrogance that when she was asking questions to his side, and he was just pandering to the cameras or whatever, but he just wouldn't acknowledge her existence. It really pissed me off. Like, he wouldn't even at least turn his head to what she was asking. He just did not, and just would stare down to the other journalists while she was just there asking legitimate questions, legitimate, questions from a journalist. But he just was so arrogant. And it pisses me off how fucking arrogant he is sometimes. Fucking all the time. Sorry, not even sometimes.
It's also, to be honest, he obviously wants to diminish and dismiss a Māori woman, but also, I bet you if he looked her in the eyes, he wouldn't be able to handle the sheer fire that he would feel from her eyes. I just think it's because he's a pussy.
Oh yeah. She has a backbone, and I fucking love it. It's great.
She's got all the spines. That's why Chris has none. And fucking Brownlee, she took all of them. Then we got another one from Kai Matara. You need to vote for us next election. You're gonna remove the gang patch ban, right? Right? We got leeches and parasites. Now this one has a lot of detail in it. You got sucking the life out of us, the economy and treaty. And down here, I would like to point out there is even an NZF DNR toe tag. Like, it's so much. I love it. It's just so much detail. Then Aro also decided to make us a little bit of a twofer. So what I would say to you is, fuck, bro, that line is giving me RSI. And then this amazing screenshot here where they've just got it perfectly timed on the finger, which I just, beautiful. Oh, and this one.
Love to know what those translators think. It's
right? But this is another one that I don't know if you'd already seen this, but here lies the Treaty Principles Bill. Rest in piss, bozo. Shame. And just Hana and Tam. And that was why the creation of the week goes to Kai Mātara, because these are all actually available in the Discord as blanks if you want to go in and you want to play around and you want to be funny. But also, we have bonus meme. So someone in the chat had suggested someone do something with this cartoon. So I got my flatmate to do something with the cartoon. So we've got, why do you liberals make everything so personal? I know folks whose own kids have cut them off because they voted for Trump, and that's them. Sure, we got political disagreements, but we shouldn't let it stop us from being friends, right? Then just Atlas Network. Black illegal eating our dogs, getting out trannies and pedos, fucking voting rights. Now let's Snapchat some kids. Because, yeah, that's the monster that lies beneath. And that's our memes.
That last one just has like so many like thoughts of
We'll post it on Blue Sky and stuff. Don't worry, it'll be there for people to digest more later.
Shall we get through some super chats? Oh God, guys, stop super chatting. I'll start from the bottom this time. Matthew Dunner for $10. Thank you, bruh. Oscar winning No Other Land opens on Sunday in Wellington at Lighthouse Cuba. By the way, Cuba Street in Taranaki near the CBD. The fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah, I don't understand what the /gov means, but yeah. That is
Cuba Street in Taranaki Street near the CBD. Important documentary note, if you're human, you will cry.
It means between,
that one.
Because it's a little side dinky. It's a little dinky side road. But yes,
gotcha. Yes, this is the one about the inside of Gaza. This is the one with the director who was
shit,
kidnapped, right?
Yeah, disappeared.
But well, yeah, I guess it's that's cool. I'm glad that they're showing it here. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I believe it is, right? That I'm not wrong.
Well, yeah. That's here in Wellington. So
about the West Bank. There you go.
Damn.
Oh, he was released.
Oh
okay.
Shit.
Okay.
Love to hear that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Go if you're in Wellington. There you go. Something to keep in mind. Tippini for $2 says Pākehā should be happy. We want equity, not revenge.
I mean, facts.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, for the shit that colonists have done to Indigenous people, I think we're getting off pretty.
Oh, mate. That's why.
I mean, it wasn't us. It was our, generations before. But still, if you want vengeance, can't go back in 100, 200, 300 years. Right? You gotta go with the people that are perpetuating the system, right? So, wouldn't blame it if Māori were pissed.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's why I hate the whole tribunal thing of like, oh well, you've already had your settlement. Oh yeah, because like a few $1 million can make up for literally generations of potentially lost like we don't know what people might have existed instead of, I probably wouldn't be here. You probably wouldn't be here. People that would be here would be different.
The danger of mouse for $5 is hospitality. That's not the right way. You must want something else. Sarcasm. Mr. Arvids for $2 says black and white thinking is a Pākehā mindset. Agreed. We're not very good at yeah, that too. We're not very good at thinking outside the box. I will say that. We're not. I would say we're very creative. As a larger vision of things, we're not very creative.
Just look at the salt and pepper.
Kai Matata for $5. In the meantime, David Seymour wrote a book complaining about democracy with a literal chapter called Democracy, Too Much of a Good Thing. Oh, yeah, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
What is an asshat? Kai Matata for $5. Were you doing $2 before and now you're doing $5? It's always been $5. Guys, calm down. There's a reason early settler Judge Francis Dart Fenton said no system of government that the world ever saw could be more democratic than Maori.
Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. Facts.
XLD for $2 said at least they included us on the map.
Mate, you're right. You're so right. Even if we're called Madagascar.
Mr. Arvids for $2. Winston is losing passenger princess privileges. Am I
You don't
missing
know what a
something?
passenger princess is?
No.
Oh, so it's just someone who's always the one in the passenger seat because they usually don't have a fucking license and they just always get driven around by other people.
Oh, the scrub.
Was that what you call it in the
I
South
don't want no
Island?
scrub sitting
Oh,
in the
yeah,
passenger
yeah.
side of his best friend's ride.
I mean, yeah. A scrub is also a passenger princess, but a passenger princess is not always a scrub.
Right. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. I like it. Tippany for $2 says be brown. Take the system down.
Hell yeah.
Brown. Kai Matata for $5 says be ace, rob the place. Be aro, steal
Be
and
aro.
borrow. Be aro?
Yeah, aromantic.
Be aro, steal and borrow. There's some leniency there. Be bi, don't comply. Be trans, overthrow the man. Be queer, loot and cheer. Be envy, crimes aplenty.
I like that one.
Those are
like
too
that
good.
one.
Too smart. Too smart. And then Kiri Brew for $2 says, I don't blame Pākehā, I blame the Crown.
Yeah.
Now, I don't blame the Crown. I blame fucking Hobson. He was the one that fucking... So, this is one of the things that came out of the RNZ who did the chats, is there's a historian on... I can't remember his name. I'll have to find it. One of the chats... Well, they did like 7 conversations. One of them was with Edu, actually. But one of them was with an academic historian, and he was explaining how it all got fucked up. So, and this is my really poor interpretation of it, but this is essentially what I got out of it, is that the Crown wanted to do things differently. They sent, I think it was the Crown, or it was someone else who was here. It was one of the people, one of the missionaries that came over, and he was like, shit, Māori have got their shit together. This is really cool. We would love to be part of this. And they were actually championing it. They talked to the Crown. I'm probably wrong here, but they were talking to the Crown. They're like, hey, there could be a system here that we could work together. Māori want us to sort our shit out. So, like, can we do it? Can we create a treaty? And then Hobson was supposedly sent over to help to build the colony of sorts and to action the Crown's agenda, or, you know, instructions, essentially, which was supposed to be a little bit less colonial this time around. They wanted to try and do things differently. Obviously, they fucked up. Hobson, I believe, intentionally misinterpreted what they'd said, and that's how we ended up with the system that we did, where colonizers basically took over, where he started buying. So he started buying their land. So he went, because he was supposed to be the one who would, like, you know, help settlers build houses and, like, you know, set up farms and all sort of shit. And he swindled Māori, essentially, bought all of their land and then fucked them over. He did it. I believe he did it intentionally.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, because technically he was a part of the Crown.
Yes, he was part of the Crown.
But also they did find, I believe it was journals. I can't remember who the fuck wrote them. I don't think it was Hobson, but they were sent with directives from the Crown to specifically try to undermine and basically trick the indigenous population into basically what they did. So yeah, it was the Crown's fault. They were assholes. And yeah, the mistranslation, well, because also there was I don't know if you've watched the document, like the dramaticized version of that. Basically, bro did it the night before like it was a fucking uni assignment. as well. He just fucking did it the night before.
Here it is. Treaty Talks episode 2. Peter adds.
Oh yeah, that's my old lecturer.
Well, there you go.
Also, though, sometimes Peter says some cook shit. Not gonna lie.
I mean, he looks like
actually,
this. We can't blame him. Like, it's
oh,
kind of
nah, like,
expected, you know.
yeah, I mean, he's definitely a lot closer to it, like a lot more Winnie inspired than others. He's a good guy though. He's taught us some great things, but also some of the things.
Credit where credit's due in this particular case. I thought he did a really good job of explaining a much better history than fucking I've had.
Oh yeah, well,
treaty and
I mean,
you know,
he taught us the entire migration of Polynesia. Like that's why I know all of that stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you wanna get my unbutchered version of you know history, highly recommend watching it because I was fascinated. I was like, shit, this is fascinating. Man, my ancestors suck ass.
Real though.
Yeah. So fun times. But yeah, it's been a good episode. It's been a good show of learning things.
Well, actually, do we want to quickly go through the community news and submission stuff? Because there are some submissions we need to talk about quickly.
Yes, absolutely.
So, we'll start with submissions because, to be honest, they're a lot more serious and dumb. And you know what? I want to end on a high, not a low. Where am I? I'm over here. And then I'm here. So, we have a lot of submissions. I haven't had time to make a graphic. But there are a few that I was reading through, and I've kind of picked out a couple that I definitely think people need to pay attention to. So, there is one that is the referendums framework bill. This one's an interesting one because there was a certain line in here that kind of piqued my interest, especially considering the fact that Seymour keeps trying to say, oh, don't worry, like there still could be like we don't, you know, like this might not be over. If you notice here, it says this referendums framework bill would create a set of provisions for referendums to take place alongside either the first or second general election following its enactment. But yeah, I'm a little bit concerned that they're going to try to fuck with these referendums and things. So look into that one. There's also a Plain Language Act repeal bill, which I think is a bit strange because the Plain Language Act is basically an act that was brought in to ensure that the purpose of the act is to improve the effectiveness and accountability of public service agencies and Crown agents and to improve the accessibility of certain documents that they make available to the public by providing for those documents to use language that is appropriate to the attended audience, clear, concise, and well organized. They want to repeal a bill that was designed to make things easier and more understandable to the general populace. And to be honest, this one made me go, nope, I don't like this. This is fucked. So I think we'll probably talk about it a bit more, you know, but these are only, oh, fuck, no, I realized, oh, no, that is next month. We only have a month left, so 14th of May. So we'll probably talk about that a bit more. But just wanted to make people aware of this one because I didn't understand what it was at first. And there's also apparently sales and stuff. They want to try sell alcohol on the days things are closed. So I think that's another one that if you're, you know, interested, go look at that because obviously we don't need more alcohol on holidays. We already have a fucking problem with drinking. We don't need people taking their Christmas money or whatever the fuck down to get pissed on Christmas Day because it's a bad idea. But yeah, go to the submissions, go look through them, and obviously let people know about some of those ones. But we will go into some quick little nice news. So I will share my screen again, and I might have to actually get you to pop me up so that I can I want to do a share multiple things. So if you could pop me up right now. Yes. So if you are in Christchurch, There is the Harinui Wharenui Harikoa. It's an amazing experience. I went and saw this when I was in Hamilton. It is there until the 27th of April. So if you're in Christchurch and Ems, go down and have a look at it. It's amazing, amazing artwork. All of it has been knitted by Lissy and Rudy. If you haven't heard of them, they're an amazing couple. Their art is so cool. But it is one of the greatest experiences. You get to lie down in there, and there's actually a full audio that plays while you're in the wharenui, and they explain each of the po, and it's very me. It feels like very me coded. I feel very seen by this marae. It's my aesthetic. And then the other thing to end with some good news is 700 people went to go watch a guy fold a fitted sheet in Wellington. And I love my goddamn city so much.
Wow.
Dan Bowerman is a comedian. Turns out he's actually living in England now. And so I had been seeing these posters around town for a while now, and I kept being like, I have to go to it. And then obviously I did the whole forget what the day was and bloody missed it. But yeah, he just came, he put those posters around town for the last month, and 700 people turned up to watch him do it.
Hang on, I can't see it. We're still seeing.
Oh,
issuing tab.
oh, why is it not working now?
I only saw the.
Oh, okay, no, I know what it's
Rainbow
doing.
guy.
Hold up. I will.
It's coming back.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna reshare it. It'll fix it. You see it now? Oh,
Oh, sure can.
hell yeah. So yeah, this is yeah, just holding the sheet. And I mean, to be fair, you can go watch that. But I think what I really liked about it is that he mentioned somewhere in here, I remember reading it, about how, back in the day, we just used to be a bit more silly and fun and dumb, like, well, because he's obviously similar age to us, so it's like, we used to go planking and just doing silly, inane things. Oh, there we go. Here we go. When I was growing up, there were like flash mobs all the time. People were planking. Stuff was wacky and the world wasn't that serious. Since COVID, everyone's indoors and on their phones and we're not chatting to each other. Loads of people were staying afterwards going, this is so silly. This is what we needed in Wellington. And it was kind of profound in a sense. I was just being silly and putting together something nonsense. But people felt real good coming together and chanting on a stranger, fold that sheet. No other city in the world would respond like that. And I do have to agree. I do not think this would go down anywhere near the same in a different city. But it just warmed my heart to see a bunch of people rock out. I think it was like on a Thursday too. It wasn't even like a Friday. It was just like a random day. And yeah, I love seeing the community having a good time, and just when the news is always so fucking horrible and the existential dread is daily, I love seeing that.
I was watching a Struthless video, who's one of my favorite content creators. He was talking about how when the world kind of turns to shit and you have global recessions and the depression and all this sort of stuff, is when we got the best art movements.
Oh, absolutely.
He listed a bunch of things, and all I can remember was the Dada movement in terms of art. Because even if people are all broke, you can't take away someone's creativity. And it's a way of people coping, and it's also a way for people to it doesn't cost them any money to make stuff. So it was fascinating. And but I feel like that is an example of people kind of like going, the world is shit, let's just make fun stuff.
Well, and that's where like that point was also extra poignant during COVID. What got us through? The only thing that got most of us through COVID was art, was creatives. And that's why we shouldn't let the government cut their funding and not give them money, because art is just as important as other things. Like, I don't see the point in going and watching a bunch of guys kick a ball on a fucking field. But you know what? If you like that, you do you, boo. Couldn't be me. But, you know, everything has its value. Even if you don't enjoy it, it just might not be for you. Also, I see apparently Kiwi Skirt's mad that I didn't show the end of the fitted sheet being folded. You know what? I can give you the link and you can go watch it yourself because it's a very performative. It's about a minute and a half.
Right?
No, he does like a whole thing. So he'll do one bit and then go around the crowd. Like it's very performative. So instead of making people watch a dude fold a sheet for 2 minutes, I will post it in the chat. And Kiwi, you can go watch it after this. Sorry, love.
But also, look up how to fold a fitted sheet. Once you know, your life will change.
You guys fold your sheets? Nah, I mean, yeah, nah, I don't.
I couldn't live if I didn't fold. Honestly, fitted sheets are the bane of my existence. But once I knew how to fold them, I love just being like, watch this. It's kind of square. As opposed to when I try and do it and I get halfway through and I just go, yeah, it's fine.
I usually just leave it in my washing thing and then I wash it and then I put it straight on my bed. I don't need to fold it. And I only own like 2 pairs of sheets because I'm poor. So it's not like I got heaps of spares.
It's true. It's true. It does. Yeah.
Yeah. Must be nice having a linen cupboard full of like towels for extra people and blankets for extra people.
We don't have well, we do have a linen cupboard, but it has a hot water heater cylinder in it, so I can't really use it. But I just have a box that's just like a bunch of shit my mum gave me. And I'm just like pulling it out and I'm like, oh, that'll do. It's a sheet and there's nothing that matches, but it's fine. It's
also
fine.
I'm getting flexed on now. Y'all need to make us.
Yes.
So we need to get bigger and win the awards so that I can afford new sheets, guys. That's the goal.
Super chats will be dedicated to.
Oh my god, is the blanket fun gonna be mean? Oh no, I'm this.
You probably need it more than I do in your shitty, what is it? Very expensive Wellington rental.
Oh yeah.
Old and cold.
Don't get me started on the molds.
Oh, it's not good. Sad but true, isn't it?
Yeah, but hey,
people ask you what your bed size is.
I also, hey, why, you guys trying to get in my bed now? Chill out, guys. Not that kind of live stream. I mean, I love the fact that talking about sheets and beds is a good way to end this week, I think.
Well, we got to keep the crunchy croutons is what Chewie likes to call them. We've got to keep them somewhat satisfied, okay? They've had a pretty tough time in the chat being somewhat ignored.
You know what? It is hard going through life that stupid. I will agree with that. Yes.
Just angry, dude. Like, I'm angry, but I'm also
I used to be angry and hateful. And now I'm still angry and hateful. I just don't hate other people and myself as much anymore. It's great.
No, I just hate people that make policies. I don't hate them. I just hate their fucking policies that they enact.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's been a fun show.
It has been. And I mean, it's also been awesome because we got nominated for the radio awards because we have patrons who are awesome and chatters who are awesome. And I'm reading the comments now. I don't think that should be a banned word. I said fleshlight earlier because I believe Jerry Brownlee is a fleshlight for the coalition. And you know what? If I end up in Parliament later on, Winston can get mad at me and get outraged at me for doing that. Because he'll probably still fucking be around.
There's one last super chat from The Danger of Mouse, who said, Ems is such a wife. I am currently flexing my trad wife skills.
How to be?
I like sometimes being a bit of a wifey. It's kind of fun just to be like, my day includes cleaning the house, and sometimes it's the best feeling of all. Especially when you can gloat. The man comes home and you're like, well, your partner, I guess in your case. Well, I mean, you know.
Anyone,
flatmate, partner, girlfriend, boyfriend. It's just so nice to gloat at the end of the day and be like, I did 2 loads of washing. I did the dishes. I dusted.
There's nothing like completing a task, you know what I mean? And getting that satisfaction, especially cleaning, when it goes from like, oh, this place is horrible. And you're like, ooh, it's so clean. It's like when you have a shower and you get into fresh sheets and stuff and you're like, ooh, yeah, I feel good.
Those,
Yeah. See, and even the chat agrees.
I'm not the Chad wife. That's what I call my partner. I call him the Chad wife. I'm like, look at you, Chad wife, and he giggles because he's like, I'm a Chad wife. It's very cute.
Adorable.
I love it. It's kind of cute. Anyway, we should go. It's getting close to 11.
It's bedtime, guys. We can't keep talking about bed sheets.
We could keep talking about bed sheets, but I think people are probably wanting to go to bed.
God, I'd hate to see Seymour's bed sheets.
Oh, fuck off. Don't. No, no one asked for that. Nobody asked for that. Oh, no. I'm done.
Sorry. Chaos came out. My bad.
I don't want to hear
it wasn't
shit.
me.
Get out of
Help us settle a debate, whether it be thoughtful or funny, even if we're all creatures of hate. It's a fine line that we're walking together. For better, push aside the temptation to berate. Let's take a note of the corners we stand in. As many points as the hairs on my chinny chin chin. When the news that we're watching is hairy, knowing all the things that we need to be wary of. Like the rich have the hand out for rewards, while the many have to work at what they can't afford. And the rest of us ain't paying attention, or maybe have questions we're too worried to mention. Other media is still dwelling on trivial facts, vetting peas from the rice and the mice from the rats, and picking and choosing a war path to run, and linking ourselves with the hill to die on. It's gotta come down to a welcoming vibe, with an A and a self and a higher mind. All have a lean either this way or that, and will be analyzed by what Chewie and Pat. With the evil in the world trying to mess with your head, and you're sitting on the couch, you're thinking chivalry's dead. Each night, 2 nights, they're gonna sing you to bed. It's Big Hairy News.
Thanks everyone for joining us for this episode of Big Hairy News / Bright Hairy News. We hope you enjoyed these wonderful chats, and thank you to everyone in the chat who had a great discussion. And I hope you guys learned something new, or at least you were challenged in some way. And that's the job of the show sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything to say before we go?
Go do some implicit bias tests. They're really fun. The Harvard University ones as well. And also probably touch grass, maybe drink some water, you know. Those are good. And also try to remember what the time is now that daylight savings is making it really difficult. Keep cool to us.
Catch up on some sleep. Panjo will be with you on Monday at 9 p.m. and we will see you next Friday at 9 p.m. Have a good weekend, everyone, and enjoy some sunshine, hopefully.
Mā te wā.
Jani, bye-bye.